search www.lies, damn lies, lies, damn lies.net. Search that up. Search that out. And you'll come to this page called Lies, Damn Lies. Now, the first forum talks about world domination conspiracies. And it says that there has been secret societies, and Europe has had secret societies for hundreds of years, and that's actually quite true because the Freemasons and Illuminati was formed in 1776. So yeah, it's been about a few hundred years. And it says they have a lot of branches in Germany, Belgium, and the Czech Republic, which is actually true. Now, this is just a game, remember that. It leads me to believe that maybe the creators have put this in to create awareness of this Illuminati stuff. Because I remember this game was released in about 2007 or 2008. And it's been in production for way longer, well, way before that. And like Illuminati information has only been really recognized across the world for the past 2 years. So it's quite intriguing that this information has been like in our grasp. We've had like that available, but we just never noticed it. And yeah, so if I currently says that the secret societies want to form the New World Order, which is also commonly talked about with the Illuminati stuff, and they want to take over the world, control it through mind manipulation, control humanity, and yeah, that's that forum. And the next one is mass surveillance. Now this is the seeing eye, and this is Lucifer's eye, because as you should know, Lucifer could only see with one eye, and that's what this symbolizes. Now this forum talks about mass surveillance, so like cameras all over the countries, and how to like bring that about. Now it talks about having catastrophic events, for example disasters like bombings and terrorist attacks. Now there's actual examples of this. For example, in 2005 London had train bombings. Now due to that bombing, there is thousands upon thousands of cameras all throughout London and through the rail system. Now this allows surveillance, but by who? We don't know who's watching all those people. We don't know who's watching every single action. And for example, also 9/11, airports all across the world now have thousands and thousands of cameras watching everywhere for a threat. Now this forum talks about using disasters like that as an excuse to have these surveillance. So by having those disasters, people trust the ability of having cameras to look after them, so they accept that into society. If there was no reason to have those cameras, people would question it, but because there is a reason, people don't question having those cameras and stuff. They're talking about, now here's a strange example over here. It says, it's talking about why, it says, in the future they believe that there will be scent, like how they have those airwick scents, like sprays, aerosols, they have to be plugged into the wall, like they have to be plugged into a power socket, and it's, those things have only been have recently came out. So about I think last year, I think I've seen the first few ads of it, of Airwick released aerosols, like sprays that have to be plugged into the wall so you can smell them. And remember, this game was released in 2007, 2008, so it's already talking about it before it was released. It's kind of weird. So yeah, it's just weird that, like, why do they have to be plugged into the wall? And it's not just those. They have other examples as well. Oh yeah, and also Skull and Bones is the name of the forum, the one that made the forum. And Skull and Bones is actually another secret society that the Queen Elizabeth, and George Bush have openly admitted to be in. They have openly admitted a lot of leaders across the world are in this group. which is another secret society like Illuminati or has connections with Illuminati, and also Bilderberg Society. And Bilderberg writes a forum here. A program of mass surveillance is underway in our homes. He is convinced that big companies are locked into conspiracies with the government to install bugging devices in products. So isn't that kind of weird? This is all right here. And yeah, Bilderberg is also another secret society. And yeah, you guys can research that if you want. Now the next forum talks about brainwashing and mind control. Now here, there's an example about banks, insurance companies using advertisements and whatnot, and like all this stuff to control people. And this really works a lot because a lot of people's lives get ruined through insurance fraud, banking issues, and stuff like that. So I guess they're just trying to control the aspect of money and wealth, since money and wealth is everything in this world. And like huge companies, example in Yorkshire, England, educated and organized banks, agencies with the government. They conspired to develop brainwashing technology within ATMs. Yeah, so that's an example. In Yorkshire City, local banks have been like accused to be in a conspiracy with the government to have brainwashing technology in ATMs. Now, isn't that weird? Now, this is a silly one. A silly forum is talking about why the homeless people always watching me. He says that they have a theory that homeless people are cyborgs that record all sorts of information of other people, blah blah blah. But yeah, that's just fooling around. And this one is also true. I've actually read about this. Dumping your trash. He talks about dumping your trash in the park, because like DNA evidence is actually commonly taken from rubbish tips to like, so they know the address, or like they know about the people who live there in case of any other, like for example, if I committed a crime and they had my DNA samples without my consent, they do it without consent, they had my DNA samples from my trash and they tested it and they had DNA from the crime scene matching, they would automatically know that it's me. So yeah, they do take DNA samples from trash without knowing. I'm not sure if it happens in New Zealand, but I've read it in USA and a few states it does actually happen. So yeah, that's about mind control. And this is all on Grand Theft Auto Liberty City. Grand Theft Auto IV. It's just a game. Just a game. It has all this like unnecessary information. This information has nothing to do with the actual game. Now the next one talks about aliens and UFOs. The first form talks about secret governments holding secret people or secret unidentified objects and bases somewhere in the United States. And yeah, so I've actually also read about like the government and stuff having like alien life or things relating to that type of stuff under secret information. It's like kept secret so no one knows about it. And I haven't really read about this one, the aliens one, but I'll probably get back to that. So basically it's just a fair idea about the governments in America keeping unidentified objects. Smoke and mirrors, the truth about Pluto. Yeah, this is a really weird one, because recently Pluto has been signed off as being an actual planet. Now this one talks about Pluto having it rotates in the opposite direction to all the other planets, which is true. It has like a distorted orbit, so it doesn't orbit in a pure circle. It orbits around the sun like in a weird direction. Pluto has never been visited by scientists. There's actually no like photos or images about the actual planet. And like the only reason why and Pluto is actually the name of the god of the underworld, and the information talks about Pluto having like satellites and aerials and stuff that track like like daily stuff that we do and all sorts of like conspiracies like that. And NASA, have you noticed that NASA is an anagram of Satan, but it's just the T is silent in NASA. The T is not used because it doesn't fit the acronym. But if you rearrange it, it actually spells Satan. Sorry. And now this one is weird. This one is just odd. Woman. Now this image is very famous. It's painted by Leonardo da Vinci. It is the anatomy, or like basic anatomy of the human man or female. And the odd thing about this is all the limbs, like for example, they make triangles, and there has been like symmetrical like dissections done that proves that this is just made out of a lot of triangles. And now these two circles here, I just put them for no reason as a joke. That's not in the original image. Yeah. Now it talks about special ingredients that are added to fizzy drinks or sodas that stop fertilization or women having orgasms. It also creates premature ejaculation in men. And I've actually heard about this on the radio as well. Like they add ingredients like that. Also in fruits and vegetables like potatoes. This is done to reduce population size because we have recently reached 7 billion people, and this will lead to scarcity in resources and stuff like that. So this is a form of population control done by the government without us actually knowing. And there's the Feminist Party in America. They are they have tried to pass laws about undermining men, so giving men less like priority. For example, older men have shortages of flu vaccines and stuff like that, so they don't provide older men for some reason, so the women get it but the men don't. Just odd stuff like that. And yeah, that's the woman's that's just the human sort of form image. Poisoning our future. This is a very classic image, the skull and crossbones, but it has a picture of the Illuminati eye. What food and drink companies are not telling you? Sodas in schools, mind control, obesity lies. Yeah, this one talks about vegetables and salads are not as healthy as we think. It talks about added ingredients in herbicides and pesticides that are added in that boost. So basically, these are like negative chemicals that are used to create more crops, but have that decrease the nutrition content in the vegetables. But it helps the government because there's more produce, so they can create more taxes. So if more things sell, the more money they get, regardless that the nutrition goes down. Now here's another research shows that certain additives required in the food imported into the USA make women's breasts bigger. Now this is just, I don't know if that's nonsense, but yeah, it talks about that stuff. Now there's a lot more information, and I've just briefly gone through it. I've tried my best to explain. And if you have the game or whatever, you can just have a quick look. I'm not saying that you must do it, but it's just quite interesting that this game contains all this information, even regardless that it has nothing to do with the game or